the whole thing.
Okay, it's recording.
Libertarians have a unique point of view that a person should be free to act in any way that does not harm another and should be responsible for their own actions. You've heard libertarian stands on political issues, but how do libertarians deal with problems in their personal lives? Here to give a new libertarian perspective are Aunt and Uncle Libby. He's a liberal, experimenting with libertarianism, Brian Sumner! She's an old school libertarian, so breathless from a Ron Paul fling, Jeanette Chickfish! He's a closet anarchist. A libertarian who thinks the free market can do everything better than the government, Mike Trott! They're champing at the bit to tackle some old Dear Abby questions, and you will get a chance to give your 2 cents as well. Welcome to Ask Aunt Libby! Woo! Here is our first letter. Dear Aunt Libby, my niece has a 1-year-old son. The parents are not religious and have not had the baby baptized. My sister, the baby's grandmother, while not wanting to impose her beliefs on the parents, comes from a generation when even couples who are not religious usually have their baby baptized. I know it comforts my sister to know this ancient ceremony has been performed. Since my sister watches a little boy at her house, would it be wrong for us to organize an informal baptism? Just holy water and a couple of prayers? We don't feel we need to have any priest of any religion present, and of course we would not tell the baby's parents. Would this be appropriate? Signed, Mortified in Montana. Alright, aunties, what do you think?
No, it wouldn't be appropriate. There's even in religion, there's, freedom of choice. And why would you baptize a baby and basically force them into that lane, as opposed to raising the child and then allowing him to make up his mind whether he wants to go down that lane or not?
Well, I can sympathize with the grandmother in that she fears that the child will go and burn in hell if the child dies without being baptized.
Without his original sin being washed away by the baptism
Depends
of
on
water.
her religion. I can sympathize with her, but I agree with you that it is inappropriate.
Yeah, I think that's an easy no. I mean, without the parents' consent, I mean, come on. That's the parents' job, so I don't think, especially without telling them behind their back, does not make sense at all. And of course, if they do find out at some point, that could cause a lot of resentment, a lot of problems. So I think
That's true.
Yeah, that would just
But
not help anyone.
But it's an action that doesn't harm. So
Yeah.
according to our philosophy, maybe it should not be a problem.
Well, again, I think.
Where's the harm? I ask, where's the harm?
Well, the harm is not your child, and you're entrusted.
That's not harm.
You're entrusted to look over, the child, and I'm sure there's certain unwritten rules of things that you expect to happen when you drop a child off. And I think a religious ceremony is not one of those things you expect to happen when you drop a child off somewhere for babysitting. And like I said, especially if it's family, you're talking when the parents do find out, it causes a huge problem.
Yes.
So I just don't think it's would be very appropriate to do.
I recall in Huckleberry Finn, where Huck was talking to Tom and asking Tom why he goes to church even though he doesn't believe in this stuff. And then Tom explained, well, I'm covering both possibilities. I would like to propose something that they ask the parents if they can do this ceremony, which the parents, maybe they'll say, sure, go ahead. I mean, if they don't believe in it, then it wouldn't.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem asking.
What do you think? If someone begged you to baptize one of your kids and you hadn't planned to do it, but it wouldn't hurt the kid, and it's say it's one of your parents.
Well, first of all, to me, those types of religious questions should be dealt with only by the person. It's their life that you're dealing with.
We don't even want the parents to baptize.
Absolutely not. Not until the child is old enough to understand what he's doing.
But the Catholics.
Then it truly
sprinkle
means something to the child, as opposed to, well, they dumped me in the water, and I didn't.
I was a baby.
And I was, less than a year old. That's just not being. That's, to me, that's controlling a child, or
But in a lot of religions, that really is washing away their original sin, and later in life, the child makes the decision as to whether to, join or, participate in that religion.
Yeah,
But
because
A lot of kids, in a lot of people's eyes, if a child dies unbaptized, it's a great tragedy. Yeah.
As for me, Jeanette, you asked like if my parents and my family asked me to baptize my little baby, I would still say no. It's not something that I'm into.
Would you rather have them baptizing your little, say your 3-year-old, or preaching endlessly to your 3-year-old about the evils of global warming and how anybody who doesn't believe in it is a monster?
Probably neither.
Not either or.
Yeah. But in my life, that's right, Jeanette. There's nothing wrong with asking, hey, can we baptize a child? Worst they can say is no. Nothing wrong with that. I also agree with
and then
Brian.
leave it be.
Yeah, that's fine. I also agree with Brian. The child should make up their own mind too. But I don't see the harm in just, if you're a religious person and you want your child baptized, whatever, I don't care.
So Brian, would you extend that same line of reasoning to Jewish parents and their sons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
I
what
would.
I think San Francisco has done that.
Yes, I would.
Oh, did they? They outlawed
you're-
circumcision?
I believe they did.
Mutilating a
They
child.
tried. I don't know if they
Oh,
succeeded.
okay.
They tried.
You're mutilating a child, whether it's for religious doctrine or not. You're still mutilating them, and that should be, a question that the child answers later in life.
All right, now the answer that dear Abby gave. Dear Mortified, no, it would not. If you were sure that it would be, you wouldn't have written to me about it. My advice is not to do anything like this behind your parents' back, because if you do, there will be hell to pay. Consider this, not all denominations baptize their members as infants. And as a side note, I have a friend whose child was baptized by grandparents or something, without their knowledge or approval, and it caused a serious rift in the family, so it's not a good thing. Alright, here's our last letter. Dear Aunt Libby, when my 7-year-old daughter opened her birthday present from Grandma, she found a homemade dress with a baby collar and a sash that ties in the back. Grandma loves to sew and has boxes of patterns dating from the 1920s. The note said that Grandma looks forward to seeing how pretty she looks in it at the upcoming family reunion. My daughter calls it the ugliest thing on earth and screams that she is not wearing it. Her cousins will be wearing jeans and fashionable clothes. Grandma doesn't have many months, much less years to live. Should I make my daughter wear the dress? If so, how do I make her wear the dress? If she won't wear it, what do I say when Grandma asks? Signed, don't want to disappoint Grandma. What do you think, people?
First of all, shouldn't it be the child's choice what she wears? If she doesn't want to wear the dress,
Well, sometimes kids want to wear inappropriate things, like pants falling off their butts and little short skirts and going out in the summer clothes when it's 20 degrees.
yeah, but they eventually learn.
No, they don't!
That's a little frostbite never hurt no one. You learn the hard way. Fork in the socket one time, you'll learn.
How about the mini skirts and the pants hanging off their butts? They don't learn that.
It's a choice, and I don't think anybody has the right to tell a child, depending upon the age, I suppose, but certainly the parents could explain to the child, Nana made this for you, and she's really looking forward to seeing you in it. What if you wore it and then took some additional clothes along to play later. That way Nana sees you in the
Take a picture with grandma.
take a picture with grandma, burn it later.
Burn it later.
All right, anything from the audience?
Well, it really depends on the child.
I could say something.
Some children, if you ask them nicely, they would do it. You know, to be nice to grandma and all that. Other ones would have no part of it. Sounds like her daughter wanted no part of it, and yeah, you don't
And
twist
that's
her
where it
arm to
should
make her
stay.
wear a dress. It's supposed to be a happy occasion, not.
But
not
grandma's dying.
Yeah.
well,
It doesn't matter.
Grandma.
We're all dying.
Yeah, grandma's been on this earth for a long time. If she doesn't know disappointment, then she's lived a very sheltered life.
I can say something too about this, and I do sympathize with both sides of this issue because yeah, it's grandma, and you don't want to disappoint her, and you love your grandma, and you love your parents. I think what I would explain to my child who was refusing and say, look, you know how I go to work, I have to dress in a certain way because the boss makes me, but they pay me to do it as part of my job. I don't want to do it. It was my choice. I wouldn't dress this way, but that's how it works in the real world. So look, think of today as your job to entertain your grandmother. We'll pay you for the day. We'll give you a little luncheon,
But your job is your choice.
Yeah, I mean,
And in taking in that, you've chosen to wear those clothes.
and look, I
And
wouldn't.
she might choose to take
And
the
you
money.
know what? Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
wear
saying.
that
I would use
ugly dress.
persuasion, and like we're gonna, especially we're being libertarians, right? We believe in a free market. We believe everything has a price. If you don't want to do a certain job, eventually someone might offer you enough money to do that job, and look, maybe I can bribe the child. Nothing wrong with that, because that is the real world. When you
Philosophically, libertarianism is not materialism.
it's-
If you want
yeah.
to find the materialists in this society, you look at the Democratic Party. They are strict materialists. Whether you have health care or not depends on whether you have something called insurance. And if you don't have it, we provide it for you. They're very materialistic about who's got what, who's got how much money. They're very class conscious. Libertarians aren't that way. Don't make libertarianism.
Oh, I didn't mean materialistic.
Don't make libertarianism as materialism or transactional. You're worth what you're worth to me kind of. That's not libertarianism.
I meant in terms of look, you have a job.
By the cynicism of the elite ruling class, libertarians are dewy-eyed, naive babes.
All libertarian really is non-initiation of force. With that, you can live your life any way you want. If you want to be materialistic, that's fine. If you want to spend all your money on frivolous things, it's fine. If you want to save it all, it's fine too, as long as it hurt no one. But the way I look at it, I look at it like a market decision. Instead of forcing your child to do something they don't want to do, and I think at 7 years old, they're starting, like Brian said, they're starting to get to an age where they should make their own wardrobe decisions in some respects. Obviously not to their detriment health-wise or otherwise, but I would hate to think I'm gonna, if you don't do this, yada yada yada. But I could think of more persuasive. Like, look, it's your job of the day. Your grandmother, would love to see you in this, and I like Brian's actually compromise too. Is hey, look, okay, the pictures. But then afterwards, for playtime, we can change it into something else. Or maybe you can pretend to spill something on it between you and me, wink, wink, and luckily we have a backup outfit. So, I mean, there's always... and grandma never has to know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Making grandma happy, she's on her deathbed. So I think...
I too have a sort of a compromise in mind. I'm really concerned about the fact that grandma's going to die, and this 7-year-old who might refuse to wear the dress when she's... after grandma dies, if at this reunion grandma is noticeably sad because a little girl didn't wear her dress and she says so, and maybe she doesn't
That's when
want
you
to
go to grandma and say, Mom,
Well,
what's the matter with you?
and then grandma dies, and the girl
next day.
when the girl's a little older,
That's horrible.
when the girl's a little older, she might look back and really wish that she had given that gift of niceness to her grandma. So I have an idea. Sometimes instead of making one person do something they don't want to, you spread the misery and then it becomes fun.
Misery.
What if you said, okay, if you wear that dress for grandma, we can go to the secondhand store, you can pick clothes for the rest of the family, and we'll all wear them to the family.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, maybe your cousins would like to get on this. And they all wear whatever the kids pick for the rest of the family. It would be a really funny something to remember. And grandma would only notice the little girl wearing the dress she's on.
stepdad the tutu now because the daughter. Here you go, Dad. This is yours.
That's fine, make it festive.
And then again, going back to your
And then Grandma gets sad.
beginning question, then, you know, the daughter is looking at these pictures and thinking, why is Dad in the tutu? Doesn't he know better?
That may make Grandma more sad. I don't know. It depends on when Grandma was born.
Oh, what grandma would think of that. Well,
There's all the funny
Sounds like I
stories
knew
are
it.
good. Zephyr ordered business cards. She spelled her name wrong in the business card. And I said, if someone notices it, just tell them the funny story, you know? That'll cement your card in their mind.
Yeah.
It won't alienate them.
All right, any further discussion? All right, our time is up. Hope you gained some perspective or enjoyed some confusion on Ask Aunt Libby.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.